Monte at the Ritz.
Off we go from London town. Our what? Our park.
Yeah. Come on now, don't be shy.
Tomorrow, just you wait and see. There'll be love and laughter and coke ever after.
Start at the beginning.
There'll be fields over.
Come on, see.
Tomorrow, just you wait and see. There'll be a love and laughter, peace ever after. Tomorrow, just you wait and see. The shepherd will tend the sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep. He's on.
October the 5th, Tuesday afternoon. Dover, Hovercraft port. We're just boarding to cross over to Calais. Barry and Heather are in the van back there. See the white cliffs of Dover in the background and Norman Castle. They still use the church. It's our van now, boarding. Glendale.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of smoking is permitted throughout the flight except in the front cabin, which is the no smoking area.
It's a half-hour flight to Calais.
Passport set up. All the gears again.
Passport.
Up above the sink there in the yellow holder. We're in a different time zone now.
To the right, and if you're not sure which is right, to left. Change to the belt. Two directions are down this way. Anything on the left? Let us go.
Oh, this is good. Going somewhere, we don't know where.
This is fun driving on the wrong side of the road. When you see the driver sitting on the wrong side, you know he's going to come the wrong way. What we do now? I wish Mum was here to pray for me. Please, Mother.
We're going to give it around the island because it's a ferry that way.
Please say a little prayer because we're coming.
We're going to set or something there.
This is terrible, really. What are you doing on the wrong side of the road on your bike? Get off your bike! You silly man. Have you got a gun there?
This is not a rail.
We're on the right, you got another one. We'll be in the dike if we come too far.
Yeah, when you stop. You stop.
Oh no! Hello, here's a sign.
Dunkirk! You want to go to Dunkirk?
Lily.
We want to go which way? You want to go that way. I want to go this way. Can you please tell me which way to England? The right thing you're on to go left.
Do you want to go to Dunkirk?
We want to go
No, but we want to go that direction though, don't we?
to the end.
Hello, hello, hello. What have we got here? We have a man on a bike.
Where's the map? There's Calais, dear. Dunkirk, that's right. We're heading up towards the right way.
That's right. We didn't want to go to Paris, did we? Not here.
There we go.
Wonder if we're too late to pick up the soldiers.
Some sort of emergency. We need to get the wrong way.
Now we're driving up the coast from Calais towards Dunkirk. Little French villages, what, almost non-stop, aren't they?
Yeah. Township after township.
There we are, there's a sign, 60 k's, is it? No, what's that, no passing, does it mean, or what?
Gee.
And that can't be 60 k's, it must be, this must be miles per hour, but
There's one behind you, Mary. You're okay.
Is that? Thanks, love. I'm beginning to wonder from the old sucker. Going against the 3-lane road. It might have been something to do with the 3 lanes too, eh? Not to use the centre lane at the moment.
yeah. This is our stopover for the first night in Europe. We're at a big 24-hour service station in Belgium. Inside they've got hot showers, toilets, food, restaurant and shop. We had everything laid on for us. It's a foggy morning and we're about to have breakfast.
Rice chat.
3 to 43.
Gee, look at that. If you see an electronic shop, Barry. Oh, if you can stop anywhere, I'd like you to stop. A microphone. There's one right beside us. How far away is Rotterdam from us?
Over to our left, about 50 miles, 20 miles, 30, 40, 50 miles, I think.
How far are we from Amsterdam?
80k?
Holland, first windmill built.
Lunch is ready.
Hot lunch on the move.
Who's for toasted sandwiches?
Oh, yes, please. It's a big river.
Is this Utrecht?
Oh, Ultrich. We know the land is over here now. Real Holland stuff.
Nice lunch, Herbert.
We're together again.
It's 11:15 now, in the middle of Amsterdam. Somehow we've got to find a way out of all this.
Good morning. This morning's the 7th of October and we're on our way from Amsterdam, hopefully down, I don't quite sure how far we're going to get today, but we're coming up towards the German border. We've just passed Arnhem and are on our way now to Oberhoesten. It's a pretty rainy day and the traffic's very heavy, especially going into Amsterdam. Not quite as bad the way we're going out of town.
Well, we're cruising almost at 60 miles an hour, which is fairly fast for a wet road. The van's going very well. Traffic still seems to pass us quite readily. Occasionally the odd truck, but I think the trucks may have slowed down a wee bit today compared to yesterday, when in the dry they seem to be going at 70 or 80 miles an hour. Now 60 miles an hour seem quite slow. Yeah, a lot of the signpostings tend to indicate that the runoff point means go to that particular town. In actual fact, we want to bypass that town, so we should be staying on the motorway. But if there's 2 lanes going off to our right, the temptation is to take those 2 lanes and then find that we should have just stayed on the motorway anyway. Now, whereabouts are we now?
On our way to Calais in Germany.
We're temporarily lost again. For how long? What city are we in? Bonn. It's got lines and lines of BMWs. You can have a new BMW for around $15,000 to $22,000, $250 a month approximately, with an interest rate of 12 to 13%.
We're in the city of Bonn, just driving through.
Yeah, I see the water.
University of Bonn. University of Bonn. Volksbank.
German bank, that's right.
We've got railway lines both sides of the River Rhine here where we've stayed overnight. It's Friday morning now.
We're now approaching this big bridge which we think is the Europa, and we're crossing over the Rhine. Wow, isn't it marvellous? It's funny it's one support in the middle.
These service station forecourts in Germany are all cobblestone, but we're finding a real problem now. We've run out of cash, no one wants travellers' cheques or any credit cards. The man at the service station has offered to take us on into a bank in the town. I can't see any sign of a bank. We're going a long way from the motorway, the Autobahn. Here's Volksbank on the right here. See the Volksbank, but can't see the Volksbank. There we go. We finally found a bank and got a little bit of money and spent it all in this supermarket here. And they can't speak one word of English.
We're now going through the Black Forest. Keep coming into clearings and you see these lovely little villages. Then after a short stretch on the motorway you're back into thick forest again. The countryside's quite flat. A few hills in the background, but most of these autobahns are just flat and straight.
I've been naughty. Oh, they're busy here, right? Yeah, out and do you over. Stoppy here. Get in there, mate.
Where are we going now?
Switzerland and then down to Italy, down to Rome, and back to England, back to New Zealand.
You make holiday here in Switzerland?
Mate?
You make holiday here in Switzerland?
Yes, yeah, one night.
And have you anything to declare? Alcohol, cigarettes?
No, don't smoke and don't drink actually.
Okay, that's right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
It's Saturday morning, the 9th of October. We've spent our first night in Switzerland. We're just over the border from Germany, and these are our first views of Switzerland. As you can see, the terrain has changed dramatically from the flat plains of Holland and Germany. Suddenly we're in hills. The dilemma this morning is how far to go. We still haven't got to Lucerne. We're about 20 miles away from there, and we're scheduled to go through Liechtenstein today to Austria and Innsbruck. Whether we're going to make all of this distance is...
This is one of the long tunnels on the way to Lucerne in Switzerland. We are now going into Lucerne, into the city itself. Lots of trams here. Most of the cities we've been in seem to have had trams. Quite difficult round these cities finding your way. Ah, there we are, there's the sign. Basel, Engelberg, Zurich. That's our one. We're now leaving the city of Lucerne. We've noticed a big difference in the temperature here as it's quite a lot colder.
5 kilometre long tunnel by the look of it. Yeah, a long tunnel. Beautiful mountains up here now.
City, man.
It's interesting. We come out of the tunnel and we go back into it again.
That looks nice.
This is Buchs. How far from the Liechtenstein border are we?
Oh, we're nearly there. We have to go to Belgium.
This is a beautiful little shopping gate, yes. It's a Saturday morning and there's plenty of business going on. At the moment we're busy looking for a petrol station, which doesn't seem to exist.
We're now coming up to the Austrian border from Gastein.
We're in Sound of Music country now. We have to keep an eye open for the Alps that the family walked over when they escaped.
We are now into Austria. We've come through Liechtenstein, crossed over the border, and now we're running through Austria on our way to Innsbruck. We're travelling at 60 miles per hour and the speed limit is 130 k's per hour and we're doing 100. Well, ever since we've been on the continent, we've found these off-ramp signs that have said they were going to Ausfahrt. We thought this was a city, but after going through numerous countries, we've discovered that Ausfahrt must mean exit. We are now going through the tunnel that is 13.7 kilometres long. We had a choice of either coming through the tunnel or going round the Elberg Pass. We decided on the tunnel.
We have to stop and pay toll.
That's a 20 shilling. Oh, hang on, another 40 then. Hang on.
Another 20.
Yeah, there's 10. That's got that thrown. Is that right?
Another note. Another one of that. Thank you.
We're now on our way up through the Fern Pass up to Mad King Ludwig's castle. I'm not sure how you pronounce the name of the castle. I think it's Neuschwanstein. It's quite a long, steep trek up the mountain.
Oh, no, it's us now. We've got to pay a toll for Fussen. You go and see the castle, is it? Oh, boy.
We've had to cross the border into Germany again.
Oh, that's the one out of there.
You've got passports there, honey?
The other one was just the one out of what's her name? This is Fussen. So where do we go now? Now where? Munich? Castle?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's keep lifting the other way.
Oh, this must be right, eh?
Yeah, this looks like
It'll look coming back out. It's
Point it
closed.
that way, eh?
Well, we found the big castle and we've stopped here overnight and preparing to move on. We arrived too late for a tourist trip up to the castle, so we walked up there. It was about a quarter of an hour walk up there, but Barry was feeling too ill, so this morning he's back on his feet again and he's gone for a quick jog up there. stupendous sight. We had a very nice quiet night staying here. Somewhere just up through those trees we should be able to see the castle poking through. Finds such as these, some beautiful luscious grapes hanging from underneath. Some areas it's just black with grapes. In other areas you can hardly see them. I guess it's because they're green grapes for the white wine. The area around us is decidedly a lot more run down than in Austria. The Italian countryside looks very poor in comparison.
We're leaving the mainland and going out to the island of Venice. We're trying to find the camping ground.
Ferry? Ferry Park. Oh. Ferry Park? Ferry Porto.
Ferry boat. Looks as if we're going to go on a ferry.
Don't say that, mate. Park. No, that would.
Good morning. This morning's the 11th of October on a Monday morning, and we're in Venice at a camping ground across the canal from the main city. Last night we went into Venice itself. Very old buildings, beautiful architecture, and we had a nice meal in there. Haven't quite decided what we're going to do this morning, whether go back and have another look at those fascinating shops or whether we'll carry on to Florence. But we're having a lovely time, whatever we do. As you can see across from the camping ground we're at the moment, there's a long causeway that comes across to the, I suppose it's an island almost that we're on, where we're parked, and we had to come across this long causeway to get to the camping ground. From the camping ground to get into the city, as there's no cars in the city, you have to take another boat. Last night was fun as we got the wrong boat back and came all round the different canals, but after a taxi ride we finally arrived back at the van. Yes, notice the thick smog over the industrial part of Venice. Really hangs heavy.
Did you buy the watch before you went to the casino? How did you get the watch then?
All the windows are shuttered up. All closed.
Yes, I know you're there, Pop. I know you're there. Good on you, Poppy.
We've arrived on the beach at Rosolina, just south of Venice, and the whole town is just a ghost town. Not a soul anywhere. We've tried camping grounds and they're all closed up. So we've got nowhere to stay tonight now. So it looks like roughing it again in the camper. We're going to just put our feet on the sand to say that we've been on the beach of the Adriatic. Petrol here is 1120 lira a litre. That equates to about $5.04 a gallon.
Good morning, it's the 12th of October. We stayed the night once again on the side of the road at a little place called Rimini between Venice and Florence. And this morning we're being very brave by not paying the motorway charge and taking what they call the ordinary road from Rimini to Florence. But I think we might have made a mistake. It certainly is very, very windy and very, very steep, although the scenery is really beautiful.
We're up all right, haven't we? See any roads down there? There's a drop around here. Like nobody's business around that corner.
We're driving on down to Roma now, and we're cruising at just about 60 miles an hour. Tour coaches are coming up and overtaking us as if we're standing still. There's one coming up in my rear vision mirror now. Let's have a look at him go past. Quite depressing. We're about 100 miles now from Roma. We came into Florence this morning after that windy drive, expecting to find beautiful shopping, and found a very disappointing city. Drove around and around and crisscrossed looking for the type of shopping that we were looking for. Finally gave up, driven on out, and we're on our way south to Roma. Let's hope things look better down there. Here's a big service station complex as we come up here now. It goes right across the road with a service station either side for both lanes of traffic and restaurant above the motorway. Well, it's Wednesday morning, the 13th. And this was our campsite overnight. It was the best we could find on the side of the road again. Not exactly the quietest place. You can get an idea by the traffic that's going past here. We're on a toll motorway, and to have gone off the motorway would have meant that we would have to pay and then pay again to come back on. And then we weren't sure of what we would find if we went off the motorway, so we decided to call it a night here. We were so tired that it wasn't any great problem sleeping really in any case. It's a beautiful fine morning this morning. We're 50 miles out of Rome, going to drive on into Rome this morning and hope that we'll catch them for their siesta time from 12 o'clock till 4 in the afternoon, where everything shuts down and we can drive into the centre of the city and find parking. So when it all comes to life again at 4 p.m, we'll have prime parking. That's the idea, so we'll see how we're going. 1 o'clock.
What did he say? What did he say?
Good morning, it's the 14th of October, a Thursday afternoon, and we're in Rome. We've been parked this morning beside the river Tiber and with St. Peter's in the background behind me. We've spent a very pleasant morning walking through St. Peter's, looking at the beautiful ceilings and all the very lovely monuments that are all around the front of the building. We're now hoping to take the van and drive right up the main road to St. Peter's to let you have a really good look at just how beautiful and majestic it really is. We just want to show you where we've been parked for the night under these trees, but we've had, and a little man came running along as soon as we parked to say how many thousand lira we had to pay to park there and for how long, which was great fun as he didn't speak any English and we don't speak any Italian. But as soon as Barry showed some notes, he understood all right, and a few New Zealand sweets and everything was dandy. Great fun getting out, as the Italians will just park anywhere at all, wherever they can find a spare few inches they'll park. If it's nose first, tail first, any way at all. And after we'd been up to St. Peter's and came back, Yes, you can guess, a car was parked right behind us, but with Barry and Trevor there, was soon jiggled out of the way, and we're now on our way. Now to give you a shot of the Tiber. As you can see, it's not very clean and not very pleasant. This lovely bridge in the background, the stalls all the way along it, and all these beautiful statues. Statues are everywhere in Rome. Wherever you look, there's all these lovely statues. On the other side of the road where we're parked is the Castle d'Angelo. Well, here we are, heading straight up towards St. Peter's. It's a pretty wet afternoon, pretty overcast, but you can still get a beautiful view of just how it looks as you come up the main street with it directly in front of you. If you look carefully on the top, you can see all the disciples standing on either side of the Lord. Notice there's two clocks on the top, one on each side, both telling different times, depending whether you're running early or late for an appointment. It's siesta time now, between 12 and 4. Everything in the city shuts down, but there's still plenty of cars and still plenty of people everywhere. Notice the columns round each side of St. Peter's, all with, we think it's the different popes on top. There's been 260 popes. In St. Peter's you can see some of them lying in their caskets. Look as if they're sprayed with gold. Quite a walk up those steps to the main front door. Those doors are just huge. We're now travelling round the outside of St. Peter's. You can just glimpse what it's like between these columns. The square is just huge where people stand. Traffic's fairly heavy now, even though it's siesta time. We're now trying to find our way to the Colosseum.
It's a small sample of the Italian females with their bags and hairdos and little bit of whatever.
Not quite sure what we've come to here, but it certainly is impressive. The name of this building is the Piazza Venezia. Here's some of the old catacombs.
It seems to have many compartments, some of which of course look rather dangerous at this stage, but certainly of I suppose scientific and historical interest anyway.
Is this where they say St. Peter and St. Paul were buried?
Supposedly, but
We've found Rome a very romantic city, and you can see young and old cuddling and kissing in the streets everywhere. Good morning, it's Friday the 15th of October. We've come to this beautiful seaside resort, not quite sure of the name of it, and we've stopped at a camping ground, and these very kind people have let us shower and do all our washing, so we'd like to introduce them to you now. This is Elizabeth. Say hello, Elizabeth. Hello. Here we are in Pisa, just going to have a look at the Leaning Tower. There it is, just round the corner. My, it certainly is leaning. Saturday morning and quite a lot of tourists around here.
Portofino. It's really beautiful. There's lots of big boats. Beautiful township.
Genuine Lamborghini there.
Yeah. Drifting along right now.
Ferrari. Prancing horse.
Idiot. See the road on the right, girls? That's the motorway.
This is the city of Genova. It appears to be an enormous city, larger than what we saw in Rome. We flash across the top of it via the motorway, going in and out of tunnels and over viaducts up to 1,000 feet high. As we travel up the west coast of Italy, we've now turned and heading down almost south towards Monte Carlo. This is a sample of the viaducts that we're flying over almost continuously. We're either going through a tunnel or over viaduct. The motorway cuts straight through all of the hills so that we're travelling almost at one level. Slight inclines and slight declines. Tremendous feat of engineering. They don't seem to bother to cut into the sides of hills at all. They just tack the motorway on the side of the hill with enormous high piles. This particular one is 360 metres high. It's almost as high as flying, isn't it? And then we cut through the mountain. We've been through literally dozens of these tunnels, so many that we've lost count. These cities below us are almost continuous. It would take hours to negotiate if we were having to drive along the lower road. Unfortunately, the weather has deteriorated today. It's Sunday morning. We're going to be in Monte Carlo in probably 3/4 of an hour or so. If we were trying to go in those roads down there, it would be hours of work yet. Small hills or big hills, they don't bother going over them, straight through. This is tolls and customs as we cross over into Monaco.
Got your passports here?
Really good.
Morning.
That's
Beautiful. Beautiful.
No, put the camera in.
Monte Carlo.
Allora, siamo ancora una volta all'aiuto. Chiediamo a voi che ci state ascoltando se avete riconosciuto Pisa. Io fa parte di un gruppo.
They enter the tunnel here at about 140 miles an hour.
Boats in there.
Yeah. It's where they head uphill. Back up here. Yep. Hard right hand. The racing cars go through the tunnel underneath the hotel. Beautiful. The racing cars go the opposite direction from what we're going at the moment. Come winding down here at over 100 miles an hour. It almost looks flat, but we're climbing quite steeply. Oh, there's the casino there. Oh.
Jewelers walking around, eh?
Jewelers.
These are exotic ones, Heather, aren't they?
Here we are in the middle of Nice and there's been an accident with an ambulance. Not us, no. Look at the lovely French pastries in this shop. Yum, yum. Here we are driving up a nice little street in Nice. It's a rainy, wet day, but it's still not hindering our pleasure or our movement. Quite a lot different to Italy. More sophisticated and much more up to date. Hotel Victoria. That telephone for you, Trevor. Will somebody please answer the phone? Just come off the Newmarket Viaduct, I think.
Right, now what have you bought?
French bread, what else, Barry? Cornflakes, Alania, Fussen meal, looks like puffed wheat.
This one near the border, this one goes direct.
Fantastic. Curved.
Cars on the right.
Well, here we are on the 19th of October. We've just pulled out of Marseille and we've broken down. Our petrol gauge was reading half full, but in fact it had gone empty. So we sat here for a while and the boys checked everything over and discovered we were out of gas. Margaret wrote essence, which is French for petrol, and stood out the back, but nobody would stop for us. So finally the boys jumped over this fence and went to a neighbour who kindly took them into town to get some essence. We've now put the petrol into the van, but as we're on a slope, the petrol's all staying at one side of the tank and the van won't start. Been on our way just over an hour since the breakdown. We've filled up with petrol twice. Just coming into the centre of Lyon, day 19th, or 20 to 3. So that's not too bad after 1.5 hour stop breakdown.
Everyone else is. Well, that's the end of Lyon. After a brief stop, we spent the afternoon shopping and looking around. Quite a nice city. Now we've headed on the road again to Paris. This drive is about 450 kilometres, quite a long drive. So while the evening is still young, it's about 10:15 p.m. at the moment, trying to get a few miles on the way, make the drive a little easier tomorrow. Barriers up above me at the moment, sound asleep. Heather's sitting in the back in the dark, and Margaret's keeping me awake. As you can see, the headlights are generally yellow. They say they don't like you if you drive with white lights, tend to flash. Our headlights are yellow because they were painted yellow by the hire firm. Consequently, they're pretty poor. Here's another restaurant over the top of the road as we pass under, and a parking ground off to the right with all the truckies lined up for the evening. It's Wednesday morning, the 20th of October. we're on our way again, continuing towards Paris. We must be, at this stage, I guess, around 150 miles away from Paris.
You can just about drive in to shave it. Tell me when you're going. Oh, we've just stopped here on the way to Paris, a convenience stop. Quite interesting sort of toilets. Would you like to open the door there, Margaret? Can you zoom in?
Okay.
Right, can you see there where Margaret is? It's a toilet. There's just a hole in the floor, nothing else. And you just crouch there and hope for the best. You push the button, quick exit, otherwise you get wet feet. Now, over on the other side, you can see Barry's been doing the daily ablutions. That's the porty potty he's got there, just been cleaning it out. There we are, all clean. Just the bottom part of the porty potty he's got there. Huh? It's just water he's emptying, just water. There we are. Back and we're set for another couple of days.
Pisa. No good. That's terrible. Where will we get petrol on those? You know another service station that takes credit cards? How far to the next one? How many kilometres to the next service one? Some 50 kilometres. How many? One kilometre. 1 kilometre? Oh, we'll try that then. Okay.
It's 12 minutes to 3, so this isn't peak time traffic. We're 20 kilometres still out of Paris, and we're just crawling.
Our first stop in Paris, in a little side street. Trevor and Barry and Heather have gone to cash some money.
Looking at the Eiffel Tower, the first impression is one of incredible size. It must be at least 10 times larger than I'd imagined it would ever be. Well, everyone knows what this is. Helps me not knowing how to pronounce it anyhow.
Look at the work on it. You can stand under it.
This one, look. You get one who fouls it up in the middle, like me, who sits in the middle. The rest can't go anywhere.
I just figured about the notes I'm going to tell you, Margaret, that it's so late.
You wouldn't want to drive there. You wouldn't want to drive there. You'd be
Oh,
doing
no. He said to leave the car at the...
I wonder what's up there. The whole
Yeah, Heather, but it's really easy now. Now, which road you want, Barry?
trouble is getting off, eh? Well, down here you can't go around this further, I think. You have to go down.
It's now Thursday morning and we're in a suburb of Paris. Last night we parked outside this house which belongs to a sister of a workmate of Barry's. They've made us welcome and allowed us to use their shower and given us breakfast. Come on.
Il est encore. Allez, premier étage, là, pour une fois, qui marche pas, pareil. Allez, allez, restaurant, premier étage, là.
We're on the first level of the Eiffel Tower, and this, I guess, must be equivalent to 6 or 7 stories high. Above us there is the second level, and then the very high third level, which is closed today. This one's high enough for us. We're at the Museum Le Louvre, and this nice piece of grass here is where they used to set up the guillotine during the French Revolution, and the ladies would sit round with their knitting and watch the kings and the aristocracy being beheaded. We're going inside this museum to hopefully see the Mona Lisa, if we can find the door that's open. It's a massive place. Another half-mile of walking, and we think we may have found the front door at last. The Metro Undergrounds are a place of great entertainment, really. You can hear in the background music playing. On the trains you're likely to have live music. It's the Notre Dame. And we're on our way to Calais. It's Friday morning and we've left Paris. Last night in Paris we had dinner at a little cafe on the sidewalk and then made our way out of the city to park in a roadside park area for the night, or what remained of it. And we're now approaching Calais on our way back to England. Here we are at Calais now, and as you can hear, the weather is pretty hairy. It's going to be quite a crossing. You can see that hovercraft making heavy work through the sea. One can imagine just further along on these beautiful beaches where the Battle of Dunkirk was held. Well, there's not much to see out there today. The spray is thick over the windows. I don't know whether you can see the waves, but they're fairly big deep troughs. And we're riding over it quite nicely, just with a little bit of a bump up and down, just like a bumpy road really. Other than that, it's handling it very well. The noise is pretty high though. So 17 days and 5,000 kilometres later, we arrive back in Dover at the Dover Hover Port, and the difference almost makes this feel like coming home. It's now Saturday morning and we're in Northampton, north of London, about 40-50 miles. We're on our way to Birmingham to the annual motor show. This is to fulfill a lifelong ambition to go to the motor show where they release next year's models. And we've stopped here at Northampton to pick up a rental car for Barry and Heather. They are now parting and going on to Scotland to see care of his relatives. Now Mackie up there in his green car, I'm doing nearly 70 miles an hour, but he's gaining on me fast. I think I'll just slip my siren on now.
Is that BXJS?
No, 6.
XJ6.
Then you start going off the kid like
Louis Vuitton Paris invites you to a showing of some of our current fashions. Like the Salva Cabriolet, win £1,000 off this cabriolet or any other fine tall model. And for the second prize, we offer you £500 voucher towards your choice.
It's Sunday morning now after the motor show yesterday, and we've just been to the Assembly of God Church in Coventry, shortly coming onto the motorway on our way back down to London.
This is Oxford Street now, so can we turn left? It doesn't look as if we can. Lots of might only be buses. Try and see what happens. And that's Oxford Street. It's the fashion street, isn't it? Is that right?
Oh, I don't know. It's one of the main shopping areas.
Good thing it's Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. You think we were able to turn?
No one's arguing. Cars and motorbikes aren't allowed Monday to Friday, so we're okay.